It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe and a beautiful...
You got breaking news?
Where?
I don't know. I saw breaking news.
Where?
It was, I don't know where, but it was there.
I got breaking news. Dawn is seeing things on the screen.
It was there is all I can tell you.
What happens is that we got a new logo that says breaking news on it.
Oh.
No, I know. I wasn't going to throw you
I thought
under
she was giving us a message is all I was saying.
I wasn't going to throw you under the bus. We have a new button that says breaking news.
A nice new button.
Which shows that there's breaking news.
I got to tell you, our crew has been working so hard. You're going to hear them in the background because Jimmy C's has brought lunch in for our crew. We got very lucky, and we got to interview Stephanie and her family this morning on the Brooklyn Cafe morning show, but they brought us the food today. So I just want you to know a sampling of what you're choosing not to eat, and that's okay, because then there's more for me. See this plate? This is all for me. Between now and
First of all, you not get
between now and the next week, this is all my food.
Excuse me, I'm having a piece of that.
Are you really? Oh, now you want some.
Listen, Jimmy
Now
C's.
you want to share.
Jimmy C's is my stop on the way to the drive-in theater on Saturday.
They brought the most delicious food, and they had to bring the meatball parmesan sub. This is an Italian sub, and I'm not quite sure what this is, but it looks amazing. There's mozzarella, there's red peppers. I know you don't eat those, so you could have the meatball. There are so many subs back there for our crew. I actually put it in the back in Hector's office, so if you hear grumblings, that's either their stomach or they're digging in. So
or they're fighting over a sandwich.
But they cut everything up. Rita and Salvatore and Stephanie and her entire family, thank you for sharing lunch. Jimmy C's, they're open till 5 o'clock, and they deliver in East Boca.
My cousin Vinny, if you don't get some, you either get or be got. So, I already did. Oh, you already did?
No, I think. It's already gone?
It's already gone. See, I told you.
Slick, how was it?
Yeah, no, but it's good though.
What'd you get?
It's gone. It's good. He doesn't know what he got.
There were
He's just
4
eating
big
it.
subs back there. She cut into quarters.
I told you. But you got 5 big guys in here.
It looks amazing. You want some, Freddie? You're petite.
What does that make you
The
light?
meatballs are good.
That's all right. You enjoy
And in my world, it's finger food. So check out Jimmy C's. They've got great family meals also for $24.99. Choice of 3. It's a pick 3. And from pastas to chicken parm, meatball parm, eggplant, $24.99. They say it feeds 2 to 3. I think it probably serves more than like 4 to 5 based on these servings.
And if you're on your way to the drive-in theater, make sure you stop by Jimmy C. And tell them, listen, Freddie said you got the drive-in special. We haven't made it up yet, but you tell them that, and they're going to hook you up so you can go to the drive-in theater and enjoy the food. I mean, you get to bring anything you want.
3571 North Federal Highway. They're open till 3 o'clock on Saturdays. They have a deli case. I didn't even know what a deli case was.
It's a case.
But they've got a lot of food, and they're a restaurant, so it's not just takeout. You can eat in. It holds up to, they're at 50% capacity right now, but it is a family-owned restaurant. They started in Wellington. They are now in East Boca, and I got to tell you, the food is amazing. Our community is great. They're right near Healing Moments. We heard about it from Michelle Olsen-Rogers on her blog, in Modern Boca Mom blog. Got that?
And yes, and the cool thing is they're right up the street. Very nice.
So I know you're not eating lunch, you saved it for the kids, but kids, our crew, I hope you're enjoying it. Vinny behind the camera, and Slick is eating. The girls are on the board. A lot of work
First of
going
all,
on
let me
this
tell you
morning.
something. If I put my fingers close to the
How you gonna
food,
eat it now?
I lose a finger. Did you see? They were.
We got a lot of people in here. They've been working hard, is all I can tell you.
Slick stopped doing. I haven't seen Slick all day. He stopped doing to go eat. I don't even know if the DJ. Did you even get a piece?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's gonna wait for the not yet.
Not yet, I know.
And you know what not yet means?
There's gonna be nothing
Not
there.
today.
Pretty
He ain't
much.
getting nothing today.
Pretty much. So a huge shout out to Jimmy C's and Rita. We got some here that we're going to try. The bread looks incredible. And she said, please come over. She said, let's check it out, take some footage, and see what the place is all about.
She said that we could put a Brooklyn Cafe sandwich on the menu. That's what I want.
What would you put on it?
The kitchen
We've
sink.
had this before. We've had this conversation on different foods and your foods and my foods. Although Vinny said we kind of balance each other out.
We had a plate at the restaurant, at the deli, right? And I'm a diabetic. So he gave me 15 pounds of meat.
16
On a
ounces,
plate.
yes.
It was ridiculous. And I told him, I can't eat
Well,
that.
what would you put on a sub?
Mayo, and then whatever you want. The kitchen sink. Meatballs with cheese.
Well, that's there. You're just missing the meatball. There's chicken parm. There's eggplant. I bet they do sausage and peppers, as you probably love that.
Sausage and peppers. All of that.
That's my mother's favorite.
You take a sandwich, right? And you put sausage and peppers, you put meatballs, ham and cheese, and you do it on the same sub, a 12-inch sub, and you cut it up into 6 different things.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
It costs you $75.
No, but then you can get one sub, and you just got portions of what everybody likes.
That's the Brooklyn Cafe way.
I think we should do that. A
I think
Brooklyn
we should talk
Cafe
to them.
sub.
They'll probably tell me, you're going to pay $15 for this sub? I would.
Yeah, absolutely. Then
Yeah,
you got a little, and the subs are big. This was only a quarter of a sub.
I know. They have that portion control thing going on, I'm going to tell you.
So I'm glad they moved from Wellington over here to Boca. So check out Jimmy C's. Give them a call, 3571 North Federal Highway, right up the street, right across from Healing Moments. And go ahead and tell them Dawn and Freddie sent you, and they will deliver.
Jimmy C's, my
Jimmy
new
C's.
favorite place.
I wonder why it's called Jimmy C's.
Because Sal is from Pelham Bay.
Yeah, but why is it not called Sal C's?
I heard that you spoke to Sal, did you?
I spoke to his wife, Rita.
And what did she say? She's from the Pelham
She
Bay?
said she was watching, and she said you might very well know him.
I know Sal. I bet you a nickel.
That's
I
why
know
she
him.
wants us to come over.
All right, let's go check them out.
So we're going to check it out. They're open till 5 o'clock today, and they are busy, man. I got to tell you, every time I call there, they are busy, which I love, is that our community is supporting our restaurants. They're eating local. They're taking out. They're supporting everything that needs to be supported, and the food is spectacular.
And you don't ever eat on set and you grab that plate.
You
What
know
are you
what?
going to do with all that food?
I figured if I didn't grab it now, I wasn't going to get any. And if I waited till the next segment, there'd be no food left. So I took it, share it, and then we go from
Ain't
there.
nothing but crickets back there.
Pretty, it's got quiet, didn't it? There was like a lot of rumbling,
They're
and
still
then it got
back
quiet.
there. They're eating the wrapping.
I know, but we had a great conversation on our morning show. And we had to digress into our show and talk about Jimmy C's, and we had Healing Moments on with them. And it was interesting, I was talking to Vinny afterwards, talking about people trying to figure it out. And there's no it's just whatever these inner struggles are that we all have, whether it's anxiety and stress and how we all cope with different things, through whatever it is, through sports, through writing, through music, creativity. We got to figure it out. And I don't know how we figure it out.
And today's Blackout Tuesday. There is no
Yes.
music being played today.
Is that across all radio stations? There's no music
I was
on?
listening to my Spanish station this morning, and they were talking about that as well, Blackout Tuesday. I don't know what it means because I don't see radio stations not playing
Well,
music.
that's what I was wondering. Have you heard, driving here, where you're not...
No music.
Actually, you know what? I was on Sirius this morning, come to think of it, and it was playing music.
It was? Mm-hmm. So I guess it's preferred or something.
I think maybe it's performers. I guess it's... You can't
Maybe
have
no
dead
new
air in a
music?
radio
No,
station,
you
though.
can't. Maybe it's no new music.
Right? So think about it. FCC rules.
They won't let you
Those
do
radio
that.
stations cannot go black.
I don't know what's going
Right?
on. I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. But nonetheless, it's Blackout Tuesday, whatever that
A
means.
lot of things going on. I'm excited that we spoke with your CBD store. I want to reach back out to them today.
Yes.
Because now that CBD, the sanctions have been lifted off some radio stations, that we are now allowed to advertise. It's funny, yesterday I called our insurance company, and a list of 40 questions later, they asked if we worked with tobacco industry. And I thought of you, and I said, we don't, because CBD is not tobacco. CBD is hemp. They didn't say, do you work with the hemp industry? They said, do you work with tobacco industry? What would you have said to that question?
I would have said, hold on one second. Let me transfer you over to that department.
I said no, but what would you have said? Because, you know, there's a lot of different things coming down, but CBD was not one of those questions.
I don't know. Let me ask my man Slick. Is CBD considered a tobacco?
No, not at all.
There you have it.
Happened.
He must have bitten his lip. So I guess it's no. No means no.
I think no is no because it's not. And it's like you're working on a piece with Asa.
Correct. I should have that piece out by tomorrow.
Slick needs a microphone.
I am working on I don't have a mic. I am working on a piece for ASA and CRCBD and Brooklyn Cafe as a whole as well.
I'm excited to see what happens with that piece. Teddy's checking on the masked man in the back.
Oh.
We're good? All right.
And it's funny because I saw this Slick did that piece yesterday where he walked into, he was walking with the people that were riding in Fort Lauderdale. Very brave of him to participate in that. As you could tell, people with cameras are being hit like everybody else because you have a camera, you believe you're filming, and that's really what caused the whole problem. That's what exposed the problem, not that it caused the problem.
I saw one of the state prosecutors was let go. I sent you that article. I know them.
And the bottom line is I want to applaud for him doing that piece. We're trying to get some more of that footage together so we can bring in some of the stuff as well. But you know, community base is an important piece because we've asked the community to come in and talk about different aspects that are missing because of the virus. Children with special needs and soccer and everything else. We got gentlemen here that represent the soccer leagues and everything. We're going to get into that. But the community right now was just trying to get back. And here we go again. Here's another setback. And we thought that a lot of community companies, a lot of restaurants and things were having a hard time the first go round. Here comes the second go round. And if we get hit with another wave, you got 3 go rounds. How much can the community hold up? What is it that we have to do? Maybe the lesson is that we should embrace one another and sort of everybody that has numbers and volumes, you know, you can raise a village with numbers.
We talked about that when we were all going through and everyone was in quarantine, how we get through this. And we said, do you think people learned their lesson? And I was hopeful that we had.
Yeah,
and
you
apparently
were wrong.
I was wrong.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
I was wrong because as soon as God says come out of timeout because you have not played nicely in the sandbox with each other, we continue not to play nicely in the sandbox with each other.
And here
So
we
what
are.
are we teaching?
So
right? What messages
what are we
are
learning?
there?
What are we learning?
What
but
are we learning?
but you know, there is every cloud there is a silver lining. And this silver lining, we have some gentlemen here that that are going to expose and talk about what they do and how they do it and everything else. And that to me is a silver lining. I remember I coached baseball and football for a long time. And anybody that's in the sports, in the arena, is a vital ingredient to the community. So I want to welcome the gentlemen that are here. And we'll put them on in a second. But I think it's important. Are you guys going to be giving out information and everything else in the future? And so I want you guys to get pens and papers and everything else so you can take some numbers down, some names down. I think it's important. Listen, healing begins with the first word of listen. That's the way I view it. And I think that healing right now is you're going to be listening. We're going to try to do something together, try to bring some healing to the forefront.
Why do you think listening?
Because the problem is everybody's talking and nobody's listening. If you got 1,000 people in a room and everybody has an idea, how many ideas do you think you're going to hear? Not one. It becomes chaos. You know, until people begin to listen to one another, we're going to have all sorts of issues. But I'm excited to have the gentleman. Who's going to be the spokesperson here?
I can start.
Let's turn their mics, Valerie.
Let's open up the mics. And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe.
Thank you, Freddie. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having us.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, what you got cooking.
Yes, we're part of South Florida Football Academy, and it's a youth
That's
soccer program here in actually located in Boca Raton, West Boca Raton, near Palmetto Park Road and 441. And I'm actually the director of player development and the academy director for the club. I'm a former professional player. I grew up down the road in Margate, Florida, and retired from my professional playing career and got into coaching. And I've been at the South Florida Football Academy and Boca United Football Club for over 20 years now. So we're excited. We have some new developments that are happening in our club, and we want to share that with the community today. And again, thank you for having us and having us on the show today.
Now, I want to ask you, what are the ages that you work with?
We actually start with players 3 and 4 year old all the way up to under 19. So we have the full spectrum, and we also offer different levels of play within our club, from the Recreation League, which is our biggest program. The most number of players are in our recreation program, about 900 players. And then we advance for those players that are looking for professional coaching and higher levels of play. We offer what we call the Boca United Football Club Pre-Academy program. I have Coach Luis Gallardo here. He's part of that program. And we develop those players to go from our rec program into our Boca United Pre-Academy program. And then the next level up is the program that has the newest announcement that we want to kind of share with the community, and that's called South Florida Football Academy. That's the highest level of play in the United States right now. We were just selected about a month ago by Major League Soccer as to be one of the 95 clubs in the United States to be part of their new elite training program for youth players. And I'm very excited. Like I said, I grew up down the road. I was a professional player. I played in MLS the first year of the league when it launched back in 1996. And they're now getting involved in youth soccer. That's never happened in the United States before. And all over the world, in Europe and South America, the professional football clubs, soccer clubs, they're the ones that are really driving player development in those countries. In the United States, it has never been the case until about a month ago. So we're really excited here to have been selected. We're honored to have been selected by Major League Soccer to represent them. And we're the only professional youth development academy picked by MLS in all of Northern Broward, Palm Beach, and Martin County. And we're looking for the top 36 players in our older age groups to play in that elite league.
What's the age group?
It starts at under 12 and goes up to under 19. And we're looking for the top 36 players in those 3 counties from the U12 age group up to under 19. And we're going to find them. We have a website where we encourage any players that are interested in the pro pathway or to become a college player. We have 2 pathways for those players. And they can go to sffada.com, click on register for tryouts. That'll put you in the system. Obviously, with the COVID-19 situation, we are not on the fields right now. We're waiting daily. We're hoping we can get our kids and our staff out there again when it's safe to do so, and we're taking that slowly, little day by day here. But as soon as they open the fields and it's safe for us to resume training and playing, we will post our tryout schedule, and then we're looking at those top 36 players in all those age groups to come out, join me and my professional coaching staff. We'll select those players, and then we'll start training preseason, hopefully, God willing, in August, if everything's safe and we can.
So August is the target date.
The tryouts, we don't know yet because it's depending on when the fields are open
Right.
and when it's safe. But we'll post that as soon as we know that information. But if we're lucky and we can get the tryouts in here in June, then we will start preseason training after we select the teams. August 1st will be the first month of training.
You know, it's really interesting about soccer because soccer allegedly was not a North American sport. Then American soccer team, the female soccer team, still champion of the world, it started to change because in this country, we like to root for winners for some reason. I don't know why. But all of a sudden, the whole mentality of the game started to change. Forget about the physical. But let's turn this to the other side. Let's walk down memory lane because I coached football and baseball for over 20 years. Everybody I coached plays soccer. Everybody.
I once dated a soccer player.
I'm pretty sure you
He was
did.
a soccer coach.
That's an
as far
important
as I
part
go
to
with
this
soccer.
conversation. Pretty sure you
I
did.
think I once went to the striker game,
But
which
the-
was a great
but
arena.
Okay, take it easy. I saw Pelé played in New York,
Made
at
it
Randall's Island. I got to see him play. I got to meet him. But the amazing part about soccer, every kid in Florida plays soccer. And a lot of the reasons, I'm going to tell you when I coached, the reasons people put kids in soccer, they said it was a non-contact sport. Okay, let me tell you something. They're so full of not knowing what the hell they're talking about. Soccer has contact.
It's not supposed to, though.
Oh, well, it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to do a lot of things in life.
It's not supposed to.
I didn't know that you guys wore those stockings to protect your legs.
Right. Yeah,
Did you know that?
Shin guards.
Shin guard. And every year the shin guard get a little bigger. A little bigger. Did
My
you know
brother and
that?
sister played soccer. They wore shin guards.
When I came to Florida,
And they were like,
Freddie was going to play on the football team. And the soccer team needed my son. I wish he was here. And my son says, Dad, he didn't know what shin guards were. We didn't know the sport. Never played soccer. He puts him on. He gets on the field. He's running down. He goes to kick the ball. His shoe flies up and hits the ref in the head. And they took out some card. What is that, a yellow card?
Yeah, yellow card and red card, yeah.
They took out a yellow card on him. which means it's like a warning. And my son looked at me and says, "What does that mean?" We didn't know what it meant. He says, "You threw your shoe like the ref." He didn't throw it. It really went up in the air. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But parents think that soccer is a non-contact sport.
I want to ask you, you say you've got tryouts, but I also know you work with Top Soccer, so I'm assuming there's no tryouts where everyone is included and welcome to be a part of it.
That's correct.
Do you have an open league as well, so for kids to come out, because maybe they're not great, but they want to play?
Yes. Yeah, we definitely do. It's actually our GBYSA, Boca United Football Club recreation program. We accept everybody that signs up. They will get on a team and they will play in our program. All they have to do is go to our website at www.gbYSA.org, and that is where they can find the recreation program registration. And if they sign up, we're taking registrations all summer. They'll play in the fall, but we take every player in our rec program.
I think they just need you to talk closer to the mic.
No, I think
Oh, no,
you
sorry.
gotta switch the batteries.
This mic is a little funny.
All right, let's switch the batteries on now.
You want to go to commercial break while they switch that out?
No, let's keep going.
Okay.
Because there's a couple of questions I want to ask. So, soccer's come a long way. It's a nice sport because it involves a lot of people, right? A lot of kids. How many kids are typical on a soccer team?
We usually, they play at different numbers of players in the younger age group, so that we start them in our recreation program at 3 versus 3. So we'll probably have 6 kids on a team and play 3-on-3. And then we progress from there to 7-on-7, so we'll probably have 10 or 11 kids on those teams as they get a little bit older. Then they'll play 9 against 9, probably have 13 or 14 on that team, and then eventually at U13 they start playing what we would call full-sided soccer, where it's 11 versus 11, which is what the pros play, 11 versus 11.
Wow, 3-on-3 all the way to the pros.
And the soccer season is typically from August through,
Yes, well, it depends. Our competitive program, the new program that we want to kind of talk about that MLS has created, that starts with tryouts now, preseason in August, and they play for 10 months until first part of June next year. So it's about 10 months of play. Our recreation program, we do registrations now, but they don't start the season until the fall, actually November 1st, the first week of November, and they'll play in the rec season until the end of February, and that's the months for the recreation
and our
program.
hope is that by November, we can get these kids out.
We hope so. We hope so. We're hoping and
Have you
praying.
got any mandates or anything coming down?
Yes, they've given us some tentative guidelines that if our local county authorities and cities think it's safe for us to return to play, then we do have to several guidelines and procedures that we got to follow to have a safe environment. And the biggest one right now, obviously, is social distancing. That's why we haven't scheduled our tryouts, because we can't have social distancing and have a competitive situation. So we're waiting for them to lift that ban before we would actually have the tryouts. But there's sanitation stations have to be out on the field. We have to space the parents before we allow the players to come on the field. The previous players have to be completely off. The parents were actually going to be required to stay in the parking lot. We're only going to have a certain number of people on each field. The staff will wear masks. And so we're ready to go if the field's open and they allow us, but it will be with those guidelines and protocols to keep the environment safe. Obviously, that's the number one priority for us.
Grades that we have to go through.
Well, I mean, you're gonna, especially at the beginning, but you know what I see is that I know these guys are ready to go on the field. People are ready to go. I know we're getting back. That means sports is opening up. I mean, baseball is going to be opening up. Football camps are going to be opening up. And I'm praying that begins to happen. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm a little stir crazy right now. My son was on that soccer team that I told you about, and when we used to go on away trips, I was the only parent sitting in the visitor's stand. It was me alone. So the coach saw me and said, "Come here." And he made me part of the team. I learned more about soccer and psychology than anything else. Do you know how hard it is to run what these guys run?
You hit the ball with your head?
No, I hate the whole. Forget about all that. You got to be able to think while you're exhausted. You got to be able to think running up and down that field in this heat. Welcome to Florida, in humidity. You ain't never felt that kind of pain in your lungs. Then you have to be able to kick the ball into this little net where you got this big guy blocking it. Good luck with that. Tough game. I'm telling you. Soccer is a tough game. Kids that run it because you get that extra energy, I learned. I used to make them play on soccer teams before they play football. man, they put you in shape.
You know, it's interesting that because Top Soccer has been around for a very, very long time, and it's a huge part of our community. And I know so many kids that have worked with them as coaches and mentors. And for these kids, that you can't explain to them why they can't get out there, like Miracle League. You try to explain to these kids why they can't go see their friends one day a week, and they can't participate in something that gives them that normal experience. It takes what we're going through to a whole nother level of parenting and raising children, but for these kids, they have no outlet, right? They have no place where they're being accepted and included. And this program at Top Soccer is tremendous. What's happening with that? Because now you've got kids that have more issues that you have to be more careful with.
Yes, we do have a Top Soccer program. Right now, obviously, that program also is suspended, and it's unfortunate because, you know, the kids can't get on the field, and it's important for all of us, all of them, to get that release and get back into something resembling normal life as it was before the virus. But I think I might allow John Hurst, our executive director, to go ahead and talk a little bit about the TOPS program, and he can tell you a little bit more information about that program at our club.
Well, thank you for bringing us on, first of all. Our Top Soccer program starts in January. We start a registration in November. The program runs for 2 months. Last year we had about 17 players. We're small, but we're growing. This is the Top Soccer program, and we have special needs children across the board that come out and play. They do some training, if you wish to call it that, in the first half hour of the program, and then they actually go out and they play soccer.
Who do they play against? Other counties, other cities?
It's all in-house.
Okay.
So they're playing against the kids in our neighborhood that come out to our club. Coach Juan is one of our coaches for that program. Coach Lewis has been out there coaching with this program. It's a lot of fun for the kids, and they do get to come out and, you know, get some release, spend some energy.
What ages?
Let me add something a little more regarding to that one. The main thing with soccer is to get involved everyone. No one can be a part. That's why this Top Soccer is being created, because sports is for everyone. It doesn't matter competitive or not competitive, and we need to be realistic. The main thing is for them now they're going to play soccer. It's a way to motivate it. The main thing for them, they need to be involved in a social environment where they can be involved with other kids. They can communicate. The way we work is called buddies and players. So the buddy is someone, a high school kid, is with the player. Mm-hmm. In soccer, real soccer doesn't exist, but in that environment it's fantastic because that special need have a friend. It's called buddy. The buddy go through some activities. He doesn't know it's about soccer, it's activities. So what we work in those areas is the kid doesn't know he's been doing some fitness areas, some communication, social skill areas, and be involved with friends. That's the main thing. The rest will come. Some kids develop very well. They can be involved with maybe rec program, but it's not the goal. The goal is to give them a time to have fun, enjoy, and be part of the program. That's Top Soccer. GBYSA is huge because they started for so many years, but this is spread around this country. In every state and different cities, they create their own program. It's not easy because it's a lot of work, but you know what? I like one of the comments you make at the beginning, you know, is when you have time to listen is when you can learn. If you pay attention what is around, you can learn so many things how you can help, especially in this time. So this is time to be quiet and to be a good listener and see what else I can do with my life. It's so many different programs you can support. And that's one of the great programs we have for so many years.
What ages?
The ages actually start from younger kids from 6, 7 years old, all the way up to 21. But the thing is, sometimes remember this, 21 years old is related to maybe 5 years old, 7 years old. Even that 35 years old is related to maybe 14 years old. They're kids. And the beauty thing is this, you know, because I've been involved with them with so many years, when you talk to them, we try to change them. You need to be like us. And they say, how they can be like us? They have so much love. Those kids, they never angry. All the time they laugh, and all the thing they give is love. As us, all the time we have issues, problems, and we want them to turn into us. So now what I've been learning through all 20 years with my experience is learn from them. because that's the best way you can help when you learn from somebody else. So that's the program, that's the core, and that's hopefully can get bigger and bigger. It's getting bigger, but still we need better support from the area.
You know, that's an interesting point. I remember one year I was coaching football, and I brought in a friend of mine who was a soccer champion from Chile. And everybody was asking me, why'd you bring this coach in? He didn't even speak English, right?
Right.
But he walked around with a soccer ball on his head with no problem. And then the reason I brought him in is because you got to have balance to do this. Now, you saw me do this with Dylan, right? That little squid, that little box I showed him, I learned that from a soccer coach. He was a soccer coach in his country, and he taught my football players balance. Because he taught me one thing: you can't tackle from here if you ain't got your feet going in the right direction. If you don't have balance, it's very difficult to play any sport.
Or walk like me.
Or walk. You have that balance. But I'm going to tell you, my teams were champions because it started with the most absurd thing, was to learn how to have balance, how to run, how to walk. How to run correctly with your hips is another gizmo that you have to learn. So this sport teaches you a lot of different aspects in the field of playing. Fatigue is very interesting. Fatigue is your number one killer of any sport. Timing, okay? Having balance, being able to walk backwards, all of this stuff. And I gotta say, soccer is a very disciplined environment. And you're out there alone. It's not like, oh, let me put my arm on this guy. If he fails, I fail. No, you're out there alone, and you have to bring that aspect forward. So I applaud what you guys are doing. I'm glad that you're starting it young, because that's vital. By the time they're in their 20s, they can make decisions of what they want to do. And remember, not everybody's going to be a champion at any sport. What do we say? God touches you, and you become a world champion, or you become a world champion boxer, or you become a baseball player, or whatever. But my goodness, the discipline, most kids that play soccer are disciplined enough to do better in school. To do better in school, Dawn. My kids cannot play to me if they didn't bring me their report cards. And then you should see the grades. I had parents in the Bronx come up to me. I was in McDonald's one day with Freddie, and they bought me all this food for the team. I didn't even know who they were. And she says to me, and the guy's name was Juanito, Juanito, show your coach. And he had his report card in his back pocket. You know why? This kid was failing in school. When he came to play with me, he decided to change his life, and he was passing all his classes. And he said that's because he learned the discipline. And the discipline could be fun. It could be soccer, it could be baseball. But my goodness gracious, the discipline that soccer brings to the forefront, I've never seen, in all my 23 years of coaching, I've never seen anything like it.
Let's talk about that when we get back from commercial break, the benefits of having your kid enrolled in team sports, and soccer included. Stay tuned. Quick commercial break. This segment brought to you by your CBD store. I'm excited to be able to be sharing your CBD store now on WWNN. You can contact them in Boca or Boynton. The number is 561-430-3936 in Boca. Can we say topical helps alleviate some of those, that P word that we're not allowed to say
Aches
so
and
much?
pains?
You're not allowed to say the P word, but
Aches
aches,
and pain.
inflammation, that type of thing, you can rub it right on your knees. I'm going to ask Valerie how that's going for her. Also, they have sublingual, they have it under your tongue, tinctures, edibles, helps with so many things, including when you're out working out a little bit, helps take away that as well. So stay tuned, quick commercial break from your CBD store, and we'll be right back.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams and oil drops, to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are. reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You caught me again.
You're eating?
Oh, this is good.
I think you've got the Italian.
There's an Italian buried in here.
Is that good?
Very good.
Keep eating.
This is really good.
Lunch provided by Jimmy C's at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can get your lunch, you can get your dinner, take in, eat out, whatever you want to do at Jimmy C's, located right on Federal Highway in East Boca Raton. So a huge shout out to Rita and Sal, we know everyone's name, Stephanie and her husband and their grandson who told us about the meatballs. Nothing like grandma's meatballs,
You ate the
right?
meatballs.
I ate one of the meatballs. Yes, you know why? Because I could pick it up with my hands and eat it, and then I left crumbs everywhere, so I'll be vacuuming after the set is all I can tell you.
Of course you are.
Isn't that bread good, though?
This is delicious.
I think there's some mayo on it.
No,
What's on it?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's an Italian buried down there. It has oil and vinegar, I can tell you that.
There might be. We're also here talking with, gosh, all these soccer coaches. I want to ask you guys, we talked about what it's like to be part of a team and some of the benefits for these kids before they even get to the competitive level. Why it's so important to get your kids involved in a team sport? Whoever wants to take that.
Yeah, I think I'll have our staff coach, Juan Olivares, talk about that.
Well, actually, we're trying to develop the kids since they are kids, not kids, little ones over here with motor growth skills, and I'm trying to develop every stage of her life or his life, and trying to prepare them for the next step on the career. So basically, we start with elementals, drills, and then basically to teach them how technical skills, and then start developing major. When they're 15, 16, we start with the preparation like close to the professional style.
But it's even more than the skills. In my mind, you're getting these kids, you're getting their mind thinking, right? We're keeping them in a safe place after school and on weekends to know they've got a safe group of kids. I know DJ's been coaching for how many years?
Yeah, how many? Yeah.
You've been coaching for 20 years?
Yeah, I met him when my son was 8. He's 30.
Wow.
So that's how I met
So
him.
I'm old. We are.
Are you a good soccer player?
Me, I used to be a goalkeeper in Colombia. And we used to play on 5-on-5 on a floor.
Correct.
He's on the ground.
You were the goalkeeper.
Correct.
Yeah, I was a goalkeeper. Yeah. We used to play banquitas,
Supporting more what you said before regarding all the stuff, how important it is to work with kids. Remember this now, in younger ages, we need professional people. Yeah. Why? It's not what we just say, it's not about skills. When you develop gross motor skill in the younger age, What actually you do, you give confidence to the kid. You can remember that the main kid is sometimes they're uncomfortable because they don't know how to kick the ball. It's not they don't know how to kick the ball because balance and coordination are not even done yet. Right. So when you work in that area, someone knows what they have to do. Besides helping his gross motor skill, you're building up his confidence. And plus that, when he builds up his confidence and he feels comfortable with the social environment, then you create a compact player. That's why I believe our club, Boca United, and our academy is you have to be involved with professional people. They need to know what they do because we are not working with product. We are working with human being kids, and they need to make sure they get the right information at the right time, but doing the right thing, you know, because a habit, if you build a bad habit when they're younger, it's so difficult to put away that habit when you're older. If you build it as something with a great base, good information, it's almost impossible to forget that.
It's
so
easier. I'm sorry, let me add something.
That's the thing.
It's easier to teach this properly instead of to correct something. You know, that's why in that age, early ages, you need the proper person in there with the kids. Especially instead of coaches or just coaches, you need teachers. We are preparing the kids to live the life. Soccer is life.
Passion.
You are teaching everything on the life is soccer, like any sport. So that's why we had to be prepared over there and prepare them for life.
I think, Juan, that's really, at the end of the day, I think, Juan, you mentioned, you know, we were talking about the recreation program where every player that signs up makes it. So we have that for everybody that wants to play, you're going to play. We also have those more difficult levels. But at the end of the day, very few kids, if any, will become professional players. We hope they all do, but the reality is very few. So we coach them as if they're all maybe going to be a pro, but we know really that's not going to happen. So at the core of what we do, and really when you really look back on it, and I've been doing this for over 20 years, it's the human or the quality characteristics and character traits that we develop through the sport that really last and make an impression on these kids, that they use it long after they stop playing soccer. They use it in life. And it's things like, you know, we have our core values that we teach the kids through the sport. Honesty. It starts with honesty, respect for each other, respect for the game, respect for your opponent, respect for your mom and dad. Quality character traits is what we're trying to develop. So long after the football is over, we can say, hey, not everybody's going to be a pro, but we help those kids become better boys and girls and young men and young women at the end of the day. And that's really, we're using the sport. At the end of the day, that's really what we do. We hope they all become pros, but it's really what we're helping them become better people. And we try to do that through the sport of football or soccer.
Mental endurance, I think it's respect, right? And parents, and I raised my kids in Boca. I know what some of these parents are like on the field watching their kids play ball. It's not such a pretty sight, and I got to tell you, parents, it's almost like embarrassing to watch how parents react on the field to their kids and how they treat each other. And we wonder why we're in the state that we're in. If you can't watch a Little League game or you can't watch your kids go out and play nice on the field, really, what are we teaching them? Sports are important. I had to put my son in karate when he was little because his temper was like crazy. But it makes a big difference. They need to have that training, that outlet. I know you're eating, sorry. Keep talking while you're eating your sandwich.
It's making me, that Jimmy C is making me hungry, man.
I wanted to ask, do you guys keep score on the younger levels?
In the younger level, not really.
No.
The score is a motivation, put it this way. You know, this is a bit confused sometimes. It's good to give trophy kid, you know. This is always dependent on the age. You have to keep it motivated because one of the comments you guys made before, or the question you say, it's good for them to be involved in other sports. Yes, it's good to keep them happy first. When you begin to see all those qualities and you can define what sport you want to go, and then, yes, you can go more in the raise the level. You know, when you go to the academy, yes, you need to track, you know, how many touches you touch the ball well, good passes, how many crosses. All those information are very important to develop. But in the younger ages, it's a different way to motivate a kid. You know, sometimes if you score a goal, you gotta celebrate, and that's happened sometimes. You know, sometimes like your comment, the parents are so strict about winning, right? So the kid, if the kid score a goal, sometimes they're not even happy. They just score a goal, and we say, "You scored a goal, yeah." What does that mean? You gotta celebrate. That's the passion. That's the most important part. Winning or losing is not really a big deal in that age. It's how much you have fun you scoring a goal. So that's experience. But again, going to the parent, it's called love. Sometimes they have so much love, overprotect, something affect in a negative way, you know. So, but that's the main thing so far.
How do we get back to our kids, right, in the community and teach them to give back? And right now it's hard because everyone's so isolated. These are times, you know, they don't go to school, and that's one thing. But now we're going into summer, and these kids are isolated, and just like everybody else, they need to get out. They need to play with their friends.
Or they need to spend time with the family. Remember that, because it's the time family, when the parents have so much time with them, now is the time for them to spend time, quality time with the parent. You know, one of the points sometime, I do remember one of the parents saying, what should I do to keep helping my kid to develop? You know, because I know he needs to get better. He was just finished my training. And I say, the first thing you're going to do is be a father. Enjoy, have fun with him. Because that's normally what the kids need. As a professional, we work hard with them. That's why they bring us to Boca United, because they know what we do, how good we are. But now when the play is done, it's time to have fun with the life and enjoy the family. So that's very important.
The problem also is in the early ages, like 12, 11, 10, the first question after a game is, what was the score? No, it's not the question. It's, how do you play? How do you feel? That is soccer in that age. You know, I take it, GVYSA is more than a club. It's a family. As a family, we are forced, or we have to teach them how to deal with that when you win and when you lose. Because at the end of the day, that is life. So that is the most important for us as a coaches over here to develop that. You know, I mean, we are losing a game. Okay, it's sad. Yeah, I give you that. Do you enjoy it? Well, actually, coach, you know what, I'm mad because do you enjoy it? Well, yes. The problem is sometimes parents, coaches also, they forget something very important. Soccer, at the end of the day, is a game. Games equals fun. You know, that is my point of view.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I coached a team one year, and one of the kids, his father was a lineman for the Minnesota NFL football team. And in my place, you didn't touch a football for weeks because you were going to run. You were going to learn discipline. You were going to learn how to line up, because everything in football is timing.
Right.
So he came up to me. I mean, this guy was knocked out the sun. This guy was huge. And he said to me, this is the worst organization, blah, blah. He went on and on and on. And I said to him, at the end of the year, if you still feel this way, I'll give you your money back. We went on to win the championship that year. And he came to me, and this is an NFL player. He paid every piece, he paid everybody's entry fee on the team to thank me. Everybody. It must have cost him $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And he paid it. And he said to me, you know something, coach? Because now I got the name coach. Before that, he was calling me something else.
That's good.
He says, I'm going to tell you, when you coach kids, you're coaching parents.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, I had a 12-man baseball team, coaches. I told my 11 coaches, take the kids, break them up, and yada, yada, and you guys know. I'm about to go coach the parents. And I took the parents to the side, and I had food made for them. And there was drink on the side. It was away from the kids. And I said to them, listen, those children that you brought here now belong to me. Between the hours of 1 and 6, they are my children. If you got a problem with that, go pick up your kid and leave. We do it my way, or we do it the highway. Because what you guys do is you don't only teach kids, the kids begin to teach the parents. You got to change the way parents think. And you're right, it isn't about winning. It isn't about the score. It's about how it makes you feel. If you win, it's a great feeling. But like in baseball and everything else, and they shake hands after the game, you know, you got to remember on the other side, somebody just lost. And I've been on that side plenty of times. When the team comes over and they trade shirts, like you guys trade shirts on the field. I love that. I wish the NFL would do that. Some NFL players are doing that, actually. I take that back. Because it's about, you got to sort of feel for the other team who's working just as hard, and maybe they lose by a point, lose by a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's what is important, that win or lose, what we do demand is that, and what we try to teach is that you compete. You compete. And if every one of us in our group, in our team, is competing, giving everything they have, the score is going to take care of itself. I'm not saying, I can't guarantee you we win or we lose, I don't know. But if you give everything you have, you've succeeded. And whatever's on the scoreboard afterwards, that takes care of itself. And if we're successful in that particular game, the other thing we teach is to have grace and win with grace and lose with grace. So at the end of the match, we always go to shake hands, say good game to everybody, whether we got thumped and it's tough, but you do it out of respect for your opponent, and you win with grace and you lose with grace always. And that's one of those life lessons that we always try to teach to them. Again, the game is just the vehicle that we're trying to teach those things to young kids. And
We teach our kids to walk in grace, to win, to lose, to interact with grace, and maybe we wouldn't have so much hateful protesting right now, right? It starts, kids aren't learned to hate, they're not born to hate, it's a learned behavior, and if we can teach those other behaviors and that one doesn't have to be one of them, then we're in a much better world.
Well, it's really funny when parents used to come and say, Coach, can you talk to my son? And it's funny because you guys become a role model. You become the father figure. And for the female coaches, they become a mother figure for the other side. And what happens is you begin to spend more and more time with these kids. But there's different type of times. You got psychological time. You know, when a kid is struggling, you can tell how he runs is different. When a kid's having a hard time at home, you can tell. You begin to get a pulse on this kid's feelings. And you got to go over and talk to mom and dad. I mean, I've been in that position plenty of times. So it isn't just about soccer. It's about the whole mental aspect of this thing. I think that if more people got in organized sports, you would have a better world. Really, really believe that. I really believe that. Not because these guys are here, but I applaud anybody who plays any game, organized game. And this is one of the hardest things. Do you guys take in like volunteers and parents and fathers and stuff like that? Do you guys do that as well?
yes.
Or is it closed circuit?
Yes, we have volunteers. Our whole rec program is all volunteer coaches. Fernando's one of them. He's been with us for many, many years, but we have many fathers and moms that volunteer, and they are our coaches in our rec program, and they do a wonderful job. It's our biggest program, and that's where we kind of, it's the base. It's where we want them to fall in love with the game, and it's guys like Fernando and the moms and dads that we can allow us to have 900 kids out there playing and having fun. And then if the kids fall in love and they're looking, hey, they want something more, yeah, we're there. We have the level for them. We're waiting for that to happen if it happens naturally, but it happens with volunteers to start. They're the biggest part of our club and the most important because it's the base, as Coach Juan mentioned.
How do people find you and get involved and find more information?
Well, we have two websites. So as I mentioned, for the highest level, the MLS Elite League, that's the new league, you have to go to our academy website. It's South Florida Football Academy. The website is www.sffada.com. Click on tryout registration, and we're looking for the top 36 players in U12 and older age groups. And then for our recreation program, it's another website. It's at www.gbYSA.org. And in that website, you will find our recreation program and the pre-academy program, which is that stage in between the full academy, the national level league, and our rec program is Boca United pre-academy, and that's where we prepare the players for that next step up, and hopefully some of them will graduate into the full academy that's playing with the MLS clubs.
It's pretty cool. Did I ever tell you when I was a coach, I was a parent, and the football coach had to get a job in Texas. So he met me on East Tremont in Kingsbridge, and he brought the ball and a playbook that had 2 plays. And he gave it to me, he says, you're the new coach, and he left. And I'm standing there looking at this. I have never coached a day in my life. This is the very first day. And I went to the organization, and they said, well, Mr. Santorio, if you don't want it, we'll give it to somebody else. I said, no, you know what, son? I want it. 23 years later, I still have that book. Still got it.
With 2 plays?
No, I got a lot of homework. But I got to tell you, it's an accomplishment. You guys change lives. You're changing families. And there isn't enough applause for what a coach goes through. Some of the greatest coaches in college ball, if you look at their life and you read what they go through, sometimes it's really lonely doing this thing because you got to take all this pressure. Now, they don't have the pressure of winning and losing, but I'm sure they have. There's a certain level where you got to perform and you got to bring it.
It's part of the game. That's the beauty of the game. Yeah. You know, that's the thing.
I just want to know how you cut players. I had a team.
You can talk about that off air. We're going to go to commercial break.
I had a team, and I had to cut players, And I felt so bad. I formed another team. I swear to God, it's a true story.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
I couldn't let nobody go.
I believe that. Believe me,
It
I
wasn't just
understand.
Now stay quiet.
And it kind of translates right here. I gotcha. I know. But yet, you don't think not everyone deserves a trophy, but you don't cut players.
I
You're
don't think
interesting kind
anybody
of-
does not deserve a trophy.
But
I
yet,
think the
everyone
winners-
deserves.
It doesn't. But it's not about the trophy. You see, the mentality is I don't look at it that way. Okay, I won a trophy in Connecticut. My travel team won. We got there 5 minutes late, and they gave it to the Connecticut team. They didn't even let us play. So they gave us these trophies. My coaches took the trophies, and they put it on top of a statue. I bet you it's still there. And no kid wanted the trophy. It wasn't about the trophy. It's about the logic of the game. It's about the respect of the game.
And the lessons that are learned.
And we can all learn a lesson today, one or two.
Let's go to commercial break. We're going to switch over to our 1 o'clock hour. Let's bring the Zoo Crew back in. Slick, Vinny, we're going to bring you guys back in because they're just hanging out, having way too much fun out there.
I hear them.
Going to put them to work. Thank you all for joining us.
Dawn, Freddie, we want to thank you all for having us on the show today. Thank you so much for this opportunity to tell the community what we're about, and we appreciate that very much. I did want to present a signed ball to you guys as a token of our appreciation, and again, thank you for having us. So I'll just quickly give that to you.
Give it to him. I don't want you to trip on the wines. Just
Okay.
give it to that man over there. We're going to find a place for that as well. You guys have a home, and we'd like to bring you guys back. Give us an update. I'd like to do something as the season begins to progress and you get some news that it's opening.
Wonderful.
As you see behind us, we're working with the NFL Detroit Lions with Benny Blades, who is an NFL player, was an NFL player. And we do this every Thursday night as well. And they want this. They want the community come into the house. We want to bring it back. We're not rioting, we're not arguing. We know the problems with our society, we get it. But we got to bring the kids back on the field. Got to get them out there.
100%.
That's
All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you for the signed
Thank you
soccer
very
ball.
much.
You need to get a
Thank
case
you.
or something to put it in.
Absolutely.
We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, more with our afternoon Zoo Crew, and you'll fill us in how that sandwich was.
That sandwich is delicious.
Jimmy C's. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Callaway here from the VoiceOver Connection, and I'm here to tell you that you're missing out. Everybody has a dream, something that they believe can change their life or even change the world. The difference between letting that dream slip and making it come true all depends on whether or not you can make the world believe your dream too. Here at the VoiceOver Connection, we specialize in selling dreams. Our team of well-connected and influential voices will help take your ambitions, your deepest and wildest aspirations to places that you never imagined you could reach. The time for dreaming is over. You've done enough of that already. It's time to take action. Elevate your business by giving your dream a voice. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or email us at thebrooklynCafeTV@gmail.com. Because a dream is only a dream until you decide to make it real.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff, your branding specialist with Promo Stuff For You. So we're entering the new year. By now everybody has gotten their corporate gift, so this time of year generally is quiet with the exception of marketing departments trying to figure out what they're going to do for 2020. So it's really important that a company figures out and does proper planning throughout the year as to what type of marketing they want to do. At Promo Stuff For You, I love being able to sit down with a client and figuring exactly what they want to do, when they want to do it, and time it with the various events they might have coming up.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-P, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S. Back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I gotta tell you, I'm a mess, but that bread was so delicious.
Did you guys eat? Everybody ate?
Everyone's just finishing lunch up from Jimmy C's, Italian Deli and Market, and I'm not a big, I love bread, but I don't eat a lot of bread because not so good on my hips. This bread, oh my gosh.
Why would you put the bread on your hips?
I don't put it there. It just seems to find its way there and behind my booty. However.
You know, you're one of the funniest people. So you eat bread and go to your butt?
Yeah.
So stop eating the butt bread.
Well, all bread is butt bread when you're a girl.
No, not all bread is created equal.
No, this bread, this sub bread from Jimmy C's, totally not created equal. It is delicious. It is so worth every ounce, every sesame seed, everything that is on it. I ate the whole thing.
You didn't eat anything.
I think it was ham with mozzarella and peppers.
That's what I ate. Oh, you ate the thing with the peppers.
You don't eat red peppers, so roasted red peppers, you don't eat those either. I love peppers.
No pepper.
I love peppers. It was, oh my God. Is there any food left, guys?
Negative.
No, there's no food left. It went like boom, done.
This is why I was telling you, because I know there was some hungry people back there.
They've been working hard.
I know, and more to come. I just picked up another 4 things. I'm gonna need 4 producers.
They've been working hard. We've got our Zoo crew in with us from our morning show, and I just want to catch up on, they all had assignments at 9 o'clock this morning. I just want to see how it's evolving, and April's been working really hard on her piece.
Yes, I've been texting with almost, like, I probably have 7 or so friends that I have, like, serious going to talk to me for, like, a good bit about what they've been doing and how they've been protesting. I've had so many different people, because I just, like, posted on my Snapchat. I was like, hey, if you're protesting, just text me and, like, just tell me about it. Like, how's it going, girl? And I've had lots of people just kind of tell me what's up with it all. And I mean, I've had my own friends been pepper sprayed. She was completely peaceful, was just walking, you know, talking, and she was pepper sprayed and pushed down, and she's going back and she's protesting again today.
Where was she pepper sprayed at?
I think Michigan is where she lives. So, yeah.
April moves a lot, so she's got friends from everywhere.
Yeah.
I could see that. She's like a National Geographic.
I've never really met another April, so when I say it, it's kind of
That's your
crazy.
sister's
That's
name.
my sister's name, I know.
Now, I wanted to, on that point, I wanted to see if Slick, if you had gone on any of the protests last night, because I know that you have this tendency of.
Oh no, yes, I do have this tendency of, like, if I do hear like loud ruckus, you know, it is newsworthy right now. Everything right now. If you do have a camera, go out and do something. But I didn't go out anywhere last night. Did you hear anything last night? What did you hear last night?
Well, I heard that you have a tendency of going with your camera and being in very odd places.
Yeah, I do.
Somebody who we know, which shall remain nameless, tells me your whereabouts a lot. And you know this person very well.
Who?
It doesn't matter who.
You gotta
But
tell
the
me
important thing is the message that was sent to me is to be very careful, because people with their phones and things of that nature and their cameras get caught in the wrath sometimes of people's anger. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with everything going around you. So they seem to have told me that you like getting in the nitty gritty of it. So just be careful.
April, what kind of piece are you working on?
I'm editing together some footage of my personal, like, people I know, footage from them and their protesting, just getting quotes from them, and then also with Teddy, I've been, like, working on a bunch of.
So she's editing her own piece.
Yeah.
And I think that Jared also, you downloaded some stuff, some material on some of the writing as well. Do we have that?
Yes, I finally learned how to use Adobe with a combination of a few people. I'll give credit out to Hector and my sister, who somehow knows how to use Adobe Pro. I don't know, and so when I finally learned how to use it, I sent the 4 bits beforehand, and then I found a couple of videos about the riots and stuff like that, and so I sent them over to you, and yeah, they are really intense.
So Valerie, in my email account, there might be a couple of pieces from Jared, and if you could take a look at them, maybe we could see them on the screen and see what's going on in there as well. I'd like to take a look at it. He's never done this before, so he's learning how to process some of the material and everything else. I noticed that Slick's piece that played yesterday, a lot of people were looking at it and they were making comments, so I wanted to bring up.
It was a great piece, and that's why I like them really putting these pieces together in the segments. Not only does it give them a focus, but it gives them an outlet to share what they want to share. And I was talking to Vinny in between shows, and he's not a front camera kind of guy, but yet.
I don't know, every time I see him, it looks like he's in the front of the camera.
But he's very creative, and just like everyone is, I want to see what they're feeling. And the way to most express what you're feeling is when you're in the creative mind is to create. Because some people have the gift of music, some people have the gift of the written word. My son can write the most beautiful legal brief. My daughter will paint. Our crew edits, they write, they produce, they take pictures. It's the creative mind, the artists paint. I want to see what's in their mind, because you know, when you're a kid and you go to a psychologist and you go, okay, tell me what you see, they will draw pictures. And that's how you find out. It's not always the verbal word. And that's what I'm so excited to see, is what's going on as we see the new show starting tonight, behind the face, like within themselves, and what they bring forward, because that is going to be how they feel or how they don't feel, right? Maybe it's both sides of the story.
I think you should ask him.
So I don't think April's creating a piece that says, yeah, we should all go out and riot and do, but she's taking a global view of what it is.
No, definitely not.
Well, it's funny because we do Kids in Capes on Monday, and we ask the kids in Capes, the young kids, 8 and 9 years of age, how do you see the world? I don't think it's any different than asking April or Slick or any of these guys,
right?
How do you see the world? Because everybody sees the world a little bit different. The object of the game here is to be able to listen to what it is you see. Do I see fear? I see fear. Do I see that I am, when I was down in Fort Lauderdale, I'm gonna tell you, I got emails today. This is the craziest life I've ever led. And people were telling me how they can relate to feeling terrorized, being in that situation. Nothing happened to me.
People are writing in saying this is a worthwhile conversation to have. Thank you for having it. And that's what we want to do. We're not getting paid by advertisers to skew it one way or another. It's the pulse of the community, because you are the pulse of our community. You are a mixture of who it is, and this is the conversation that needs to be had.
Well, it's important that when conversations are had that you understand you got a whole bunch of different ages in here and experiences, and you have a whole different take on things here. Some people will say, okay, I listen and I'm with you. And some people will say, like Teddy says to me all the time, I have to disagree, which is okay, because I want her to disagree.
Right.
How else am I going to learn how anybody else is going to feel if everybody's agreeing with everybody? But then nothing's getting fixed. So obviously something's going to give.
Just Slick, you're working on another piece?
Yeah, I'm working on another piece. It's about a packaging agency, UPS, with my brother. Basically, my brother talked my head off this whole weekend. It was like, I think around 50 minutes of film, but you guys are gonna see like the first portion of it, and he's mostly talking about his situation on how COVID entered from pre-COVID, from COVID entering to phase 1, and how he's dealing with it. And what is it? The funny part of this whole situation on the first part was I thought people would have been buying like toilet paper, hand sanitizer, stuff like that for like this pandemic, but he's like, I've been lifting up furniture, pieces that, you know, people been like honestly laying off because they're usually at work, but now since they have free time, they've been ordering like big stuff.
They're redoing their houses.
Pieces, just redoing their houses, basically.
You know, it's amazing because, you know, you say your brother took his head off. I remember growing up with a friend of mine named Freddie Barrios, who used to talk my head off about everything that bothered him. His parents, home, school, the weather. We were in Puerto Rico, we were in high school. And it wasn't until Freddie Barrios drove his car over a cliff and killed himself that I finally sat down and says, this is what I get for the rest of my life now, because I didn't listen. I didn't pay attention to his pain. I didn't understand where he was coming from because I was so caught up in my own life. Taking 15 minutes to give of your time, and I know how time is precious, to listen to somebody else can not only save your life, it can save theirs. And I think that the bottom line here is that we have to learn how to listen. Surround yourself with people that are like and open-minded this way. It doesn't mean that everybody you're going to meet along the way is going to agree with you, because that isn't what life is about. But be able to have a civil conversation. So if I tell you the opposite of what you want to hear, you don't have to erupt. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to yell. I hear you. Getting loud doesn't mean I'm going to hear you more. I can feel, maybe I don't see things the way you do, but we have to find a way to understanding each other's perspectives. It isn't one way. It's the whole thing that counts, you know? And I think that that's important. April, you being the youngest of the group, I hope that this doesn't get you angry with the world as it's going, because you're a very bright individual, but there's going to be more troubles coming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's just part of what life is. And I think the reason that people that are my age are the ones that are really rising up and standing it is because there's a lot of hope that people see, and like people my age see, and a lot of change that we want to make in the world, because it's so easy to find all of the things that are wrong, but nobody else is making it, like, older people, I guess, you just don't see them
She
doing.
looks at me and says, older people. You know.
Sorry.
We are older.
We older people ain't
older
fixing
crowd, yes.
Crazy, yeah. So I think a lot of us, instead of seeing a lot of these things that a lot of people just take as reasons to give up, or that I know I and a lot of people I know are using as fuel to change what we see, what is wrong with the world, and when we're the ones that are in charge, I guess, you know, it's gonna be what we want it to be and not full of this.
Okay, then let me ask you a question. And,
Yes.
and DJ is part of the older us. When
Yes.
the older us, when we mess up, and we mess up a lot.
Yeah.
And then the younger yous see it. And you want to get our attention to try it a different way. You know, it's really interesting, DJ. We just had this conversation in a different aspect. And you say, okay, let's see what you got. And then you come forward and it doesn't work. So what is going to happen? The older generation is going to say, you see, it didn't work. Or they're going to say, go back and do it again. I mean, what do we do?
From my experience, I know like the older generation usually said, "Oh, you see, we were doing it right all the time."
Exactly. It's very much so of, oh, you're just a kid, you don't
Correct.
know.
You're not.
I mean,
wise.
that's a different aspect. Let's assume that that's gone away. It's like when you were doing a board the other day and it failed miserably. And what do? We put you on another board, and now you're the master.
I
You're
know,
the
I try.
master of it.
It's not the end of the week yet, but you know, I am learning.
Look, he's like into it, yeah.
But you're bringing it, right?
Correct.
And now the biggest hurdle isn't learning it. The biggest hurdle is going to be teaching it. Because now I need you to teach and teach and teach.
Yeah.
And moving on. So now everybody's on the same page. And this is what life is about.
Yeah.
It's about learning how to get to a certain square that everybody can live on that certain square. And old people can learn new tricks. Don't believe
Oh, yeah.
that.
Oh,
rumor.
no, I know.
But
We can always
some
learn.
are stuck in their ways.
Yes. I,
Okay, because I met a few that are like, yeah, you know what, you're not doing it that way.
yeah.
Correct.
The reason why people are stuck in their ways, Slick, is because they're afraid that their way has been wrong for so long. And they got to look in that mirror and says, you know something? I messed up. I thought the wrong way for the longest way. Somebody taught me the wrong way of doing things. It could be their parents. You know how hard it is for you to say to yourself, my parents taught me the wrong thing? You know, hate is a wrong thing to be taught. And a lot of people learn the wrong thing, and you have to man up and say, this ain't the right way. It's tough. That's a tough lesson. Can it be learned? Yes. Have we made a ton of mistakes? Absolutely. Have we done a lot of good things in life too? Absolutely, because I look in this room, your parents did a real good job because you guys are here. And that's what I see. I don't look at nothing from the back. I look for the front. I want you guys to be bigger than life. I want you to teach me. Teddy teaches me the board. She knows more about that board than I ever, because she took time out to learn it. So, teach an old dog a new trick, because you'd be surprised how quick we are to learn from you. It's what we have always said at the cafe, at the theater. This is a place to learn, to come. We never tell you no. Except for Double R, he says, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. But never told him no, never told you no, never said no. Bring it and we all learn together. Yes?
100%. Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, let us know how you feel, what's going on. Let's probe the minds of our next generation. 888-994-4995. Because you know what, Freddie? I'm so proud of them. They are bringing it and they're making a difference. And they are creating the platforms to share with their generation in a peaceful way and to
Agreed.
share their voice in another way. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams, and oil drops to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best
Pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. They have amazing deals, great food, and an even better customer connection. Their owner, Nico, runs the friendliest and cleanest pizzeria for miles around. With their pizza made with whole wheat, gluten-free, cauliflower crust, and traditional New York style, you can't go wrong. Plus all the extras like salad and chicken wings. They are a family-run business with a great atmosphere. Call today to order your pizza and tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you at 561-961-4163. That's 561-961-4163 for Pizza District, the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
I think it's time to do Christmas. In July?
Yes, Christmas in July.
You guys ready to do Christmas again? Amy, April, where are you going? She's got her purse on, her mask in her hand, and she's ready to go. I think
she travels.
No, it just matches.
She travels.
The beauty of being 17. Who are we missing? Vinny?
Well, I'm Jewish too, so I don't celebrate Christmas, so I'm out of luck here.
Oh, we get to celebrate both. We get to celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas, so it's always so fun.
We celebrate everything here, so don't you worry.
Listen, I'm not Jewish either, but I celebrate. What is that I celebrate?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. What else?
You celebrate everything. We
Kings,
celebrate Hanukkah,
everything.
Christmas.
Listen, bring the gifts, baby. I celebrate it all.
We celebrate all goodness and kindness.
You get double the presents.
No, honestly, my mom at this point, she just stopped. We just do like the menorah and everything, but she's like, you get all of your presents on Christmas. We do not need to do 7 days of gifts also. But, you know.
I want you to do something for your mother.
Yeah.
It's Teddy's sister.
I know.
Yeah.
I want you for Mama-san. Right? Mama-san.
That's your grandmother.
Okay, stop confusing. You just told me it's Teddy's sister.
Okay, so
anyway, you go for Mom. For Mom, you're going to bring a gift for Mom.
Yeah.
A rose. I don't mean a whole bunch. A rose, something. And you're going to gift it to her.
Mm-hmm.
With a note.
Yeah.
Because I can. Because they're going to
Yes.
ask you, why are you giving me a gift? Don't say nothing more. Let them talk as much as they want. Just say okay. Because okay is a full sentence. You heard that, right?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to say okay. You're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep doing it every other week, every week. You just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And they're going to ask you, what do you want? Says, I don't want nothing. I'm giving you something. How can I want something? Oh, because you don't do something. And I'm going to tell you
my
something.
parents would immediately go, what are you doing?
She's going to think you either lost your mind, and
She'll-
at the end she's going to become appreciative, that you don't need a reason. You don't need a reason to give a gift. Remember we talked about this before my mother died. May she rest in peace. She said to me, son, you bring me flowers on Mother's Day, but I'm your mother every day.
She's right.
Yeah.
So I said, Mom, I'm going to bring you 365 flowers.
That's not false.
To give one flower a day. What?
That's not false.
It's not false. So the bottom line here is you give a gift when you least expect it. It means a whole lot more than when they do expect it.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to like randomly do like breakfast in bed for my mom, and that ended up in me getting a scar on my finger from trying to cut ice with a knife.
Cut ice?
Yes.
But why would you cut
I was
ice?
like 7.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't cut ice with a knife.
Yeah, I know that
But you know
now.
that scar you have? What finger is that? Anyway, you know that scar you have?
Yeah.
That's a love scar.
Yeah.
Because it was done with love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You can have all those scars.
Yeah.
It's the painful ones that you don't forget. That you don't forget.
There you have it. Absolutely. What else you got cooking, Slick? How was Slick Speaks today?
Slick Speaks was I thought it was gonna be a plane crash, but you know I did have an improvised topic to talk about, and basically I brushed upon my whole experience that happened over this jam-packed my weekend for some odd reason. It's never this jam-packed, guys. I'm not this busy.
You're a
but
busy
for,
man.
For
Drive-by
some
birthday
odd reason, I
parties.
had a drive-by birthday party, Huizinga Park thing, and what is it? I ended the day talking to my brother. So it
When
was
is
kind
your
of like
birthday?
My birthday, October.
So what's your sign? What sign are you?
Libra. That's like the best sign.
I'm so into astrology. I can sit here and talk about it forever.
And what sign are you?
I'm an Aquarius. I am a Gemini moon,
Control
and I
anger.
can tell you my entire chart. Yes.
Jerry, what's your sign?
I'm born in July, but I don't know.
What's the day?
3rd.
July 3rd.
It's my grandmother's birthday.
What is sign wishing?
It seems to be a very popular birthday.
I
for some reason.
think it's.
Jim or Leo.
I think it's a Cancer.
Cancer. Yeah. I think
Yes,
that's it.
Cancer.
Oh boy.
I always wonder about those birth signs, right?
Down to earth people control chaos over there in pink.
Oh yes, Controlled Chaos is a great.
When's your birthday?
February 10th.
Control chaos. My brother was an Aquarius.
My mom too.
All three, me, my brother, and my sister are all 3 Aquariuses.
My mother is not control chaos though, is she?
Oh, yes, she is. Oh, my God. You have
She's
no
just
idea
chaos.
who your mother is. No, she's control.
We're all chaos.
They are
we're all
very
chaos in our own ways,
calculating.
believe me.
Calculating
Is that
people.
what it is?
And then Libra. That
I
is
was
scales.
added into the zodiac, so like, what is
You were
it?
added?
Yeah, because
What?
astronomy told me like Libra was never even a part of like
What
all
are
the
you?
signs.
No,
I'm telling you, that's
Libra.
That's,
No.
that's what my
Libra.
professor
Libra
taught
are
me.
leaders.
I don't know. Yes.
Libras are leaders.
They're leaders. They're very diplomatic. They like to keep the peace and things, even if they have to royal. I'm like, if you want to
I
know about
do.
astrology, I can sit here and.
I do. That does make sense because I do try to find like the middle ground because
My
I
mother's
don't
a
want to be in
Libra.
a conversation.
You don't
with
like
the whole-
conflict.
Yeah,
Not saying
you
I mean I'll win a confrontation, but like conflict,
that's
we
very
have to find a
Libra.
middle ground
Very
somewhere.
Libra.
There is a
Slick
middle
is a
ground
leader.
always.
What sign are you?
Aries.
Oh, that makes
Very
sense.
That makes
fiery.
sense.
Yes.
It's a lot of sense.
Really?
makes a
So
lot
why
of
does that
sense.
make sense?
Because you have very like. You kind of you have a very
Yeah.
like vibrant very
Can someone explain to me what Cancer means?
Okay, so Cancers are kind of emotional, they're the crab. They're a little introverted-ish, but very much caring of other people, not as much about themselves.
Yeah,
You
that
keep
is-
a lot inside.
That
Yes.
is definitely me. That describes me in a nutshell.
My
Teddy's a
my
Virgo.
cousin's wife, Ruthie, was a Cancer.
And well, Freddie's a Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Pisces?
have my boys of Pisces. My Davis boys of Pisces.
Yeah, we're dreamy. We
Very
dream a lot.
dreamy. Yes.
We
Is that
like
what
to
it is?
paint, except it always comes out naked. Yes, we do. We like
Yeah.
Paint the ceiling,
so you
some
paint?
naked pictures up
I would
there.
paint the Sistine Chapel on the ceiling, but I can't paint the crayon.
I have to have Jay Harmon come out and do that. He's working on a puzzle. We can hang it up there. Wouldn't that be funny though?
Yeah.
He's doing a Sistine Chapel. You can't be talking like you. A Sistine
Sistine.
Chapel
Yes.
puzzle. We can glue it to the ceiling and feel like we're there.
Ooh.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I want to
Wouldn't
see
that be
your
kinda
skills
cool?
on the blank canvas now, Mr. Freddie. I want to see if you can like paint, do something.
I tell you what I like to do is body art. So
Body
I
art?
take paint, I throw it at you, you jump on the canvas. I throw more paint on you, you jump on the canvas, and something comes out.
That sounds like a phone party. That sounds like no. That doesn't
phone
sound like. That doesn't sound like no
Party.
I'm thinking that he's gonna do like a blank canvas. Like he's just gonna create something magical.
or
But
like
he just is gonna throw.
Or Twister
red.
when you put the paint down
Correct.
and it's just like this big freaking mess. Yeah.
Like I could just see him with
fun.
the bucket of paint just throwing it at me.
Yes.
He says, "Turn around."
Now I tell you what I would like to do if you guys can find it is a paintball contest.
Oh, no.
Well, we are one team against another. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about paintballing. My friend here, with the mosquitoes and the heat, she's gonna
That one
say,
right here.
"I'm staying here to watch the flag." You
Where's
know, 'cause
Hector, by the way? Why is Hector not joining our
Hector,
conversation?
come over here, Hector. Come to the front, Hector. Hector,
We have a mic for you,
come to the
Hector.
front, Hector. Sit over there. And the fun thing about all of this is, you ever gone paintballing?
I haven't. I've always wanted to, though.
I went. I lasted 2 minutes in the game.
The animator's in the house.
I lasted 2 minutes in the game, and I got hit right here with a paintball, and I was done. But Dawn will be the one that takes care of the flag.
Hello.
Hey, Hector, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
We're good. What you been working on?
Just doing the revisions to the set 2. Had to work set 2. Oh, that's great.
It's not.
Really? Because just press the green button.
All right, well, we're going to check them all.
To set 2, what is set 2?
He's doing the instructions on how to set up the network theater.
Oh, yes, yes.
All of those.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you, Freddie. Like, did you see the story? I seen it yesterday. I didn't think it was true, but it's like a snippet of like something that happened in the riot. I'm not gonna talk about any riot, but it was a former Knick player,
Former
J.R.
Knick
Smith.
player.
You heard J.R. Smith's whole situation that he had.
No,
He
what happened?
basically, what is it? He saw a vandalizer and he not apprehended. I feel like he did more than a citizen arrest, but he definitely demolished whoever was vandalizing his car because he
beat the crap out of
the
him.
crap out of him.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't know that was J.R. Smith until he
Now,
was
you
just-
know who J.R. Smith is, right?
Yes,
You don't know who J.R. Smith is. He was a hot head on the court.
correct.
He went on to win a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And Mr. What's his name? The King? He was on that team, wasn't
LeBron?
he?
Amon
LeBron.
Shepard,
He was
LeBron,
with
LeBron, yeah, LeBron.
I actually knew one of the players, huh?
Oh no, that's not him. That's Chicago. Chicago was doing that.
No,
Chicago
J.R.
was doing
Smith
horses.
was he's a point guard, wasn't
No, shooting guard.
he? Shooting guard.
We haven't asked Hector. We're talking about everything that's going on, and you came in this morning after we had our zoo crew in here with the riots and the protesting, and
Sounds like fun. What would you guys talk about?
we got to make sure Hector's mic is working.
Yeah, probably is.
It's working.
It's
I hear a
working.
thump.
It's working. Bang on your mic. We talked about, why, what's happening in the next generation. April's putting a piece together on the protest for her demographic. We haven't talked, we know Jared, we've talked, Slick went to Heissingle Park yesterday. We haven't talked about what you're doing. What's happening in the Hispanic culture? Anything different?
Yeah, not much I can say. Mostly because my ears aren't exactly that close to the ground. Before I can tell, they mostly either have half of the group that's marching in solidarity with the BLM, and the other guys who are all for protests. And you also got the old guards, the ones who were there in the beginning during the 70s and 80s, the older generations that kind of, they're not exactly in favor for the protests for other reasons, but also because they're not exactly in for a protest because it does lead to rioting.
Interesting.
And we have the videos queued up from Jared, whenever you want to put them on there. Tell me. I wanted to ask about some of the things. Yesterday, my son Gio put a very disturbing video on there, and it's so disturbing that it has you have to hit the button. I've never seen this on Facebook.
Really?
To see it, if you go to the Brooklyn Cafe, it's on there. You didn't see it? You didn't see it? Really? I guess you haven't been on the site. But if you hit it, it shows the school I think it's in California somewhere. San Jose, I think it is, the precinct. And they talked about a Baptist minister came in, a black gentleman came in. And he was dressed in black, and he was speaking very elegantly. And then he said, you have to use your perception correctly. So he took a hair pick, and he put it in his afro. He opened up his jacket, and he stood to one side. And he says, am I the same man that you just saw a minute ago? He looked like a thug. And I saw this. And I said to myself, my God. And watch the echo. And I said, oh my God, what a point to make. On the same individual, it's all about perception. So when I went to NYU, there's something called the triangle theory, right? And you leave a piece of the triangle missing. And if I were to hold it up and ask you, what did you see? You're going to tell me a triangle. 99.9% of the time. And there's a piece missing, so it's not, because the triangle has 3 sides. And what I'm showing you is your perception of the way you interpret things. And I think that the most remarkable thing about everything going on around you is that your perception has either been tainted or your perception has been brilliant. One way or the other, somewhere in between, is the reason you have all these problems. So my Hispanics, Hector, the reason I'm bringing this whole thing up, there are Hispanics in this country who have a different perception from their country. Coming here, some of them say this is the greatest country in the world. Some not so much. How does it affect their kids? How did it affect you?
That's a funny question, because I kind of had to, because I kind of grew up with both of those perceptions at the same time. I got one parent who I suppose came from a better, who I suppose, now that I think about it, probably had better life back where he came from. He had money. He came from a privileged household. He had it better there. He had it better there than he did in the States. So he was just some other doctor, scraping by. He wasn't really anyone all that special, as opposed to my mother, who's, I'm not going to go into too many details, but she had it rough. She had it rough.
Over there?
Back where she came from. She pretty much spent most of her youth traveling between different family members instead of staying with her mother, who was busy in the United States trying to do her best to bring in all her children to provide as much of her family back where she lived, just working 9 to 5 in the United States. So on one hand, I do have a family member who says that the United States pretty much gave her pretty much everything that the country she did come from would never have given her under any circumstances. On the other hand, I got another parent who basically had it made in another country, only to go to the United States and pretty much get knocked down a level. And
so how does it make you feel?
And I kind of stuck with the expectations of one, the ones and the laments of the other. Although I'm not entirely sure which parent has given me what yet.
It's a combination.
Well, that's all children. That's children in general. You can't really just say I got all they got everything from my dad and everything, and all my drawbacks from my mother. It's mostly just experience.
Well, how do you feel about what's going on right now as a Hispanic male?
It was inevitable.
You think it was inevitable?
Remember who you're talking to for a quick second.
Wow.
Now remember his ideas and strange perceptions of fun. Now remember that. And now remember that you never actually asked this what person is his political leanings or any of his understandings of societies, or how having lived in a different country with much looser legal structure, about the same things applied here.
That's interesting. I never thought about it from another country's perspective.
Yeah, and it's big right now with what's going on all around us. You know, it's really funny. My mother's side of the family is cacique, is Caribbean Indian. They're black. My uncles are Indian. They're black, from that culture, that whole nine.
Where did you come from?
What do you mean? That's my mother's side of the family.
But look how fair-skinned you are.
But that's my father's side of the family, who came from Italy over to the Caribbean, and they sort of got mixed up together. I don't know. But it becomes confusing because you're sitting on the sidelines and you're watching all this stuff, and then I look over here, I see a lot of my uncles and my cousins, and I can feel their pain. And I didn't walk down that path. It's like Hector says, You sort of have to balance. It gets very, very confusing about a lot of things. You know, it's funny, when I went to NYU, I was a minority because I came from Puerto Rico. When I went to Drake University Law School, I was no longer a minority because I was in NYU. So I changed my last letter on my name. I being Italian, Y being Spanish. But that's the way you did it in the day. That was the game, is to get in because they wanted minorities in both, so I played the card. Now, I had the grades anyway. I got a full ride on both. But that has changed. Perception and all that has changed again. That's not the way it's viewed anymore. Perception is what hurts us.
Do you think it'll be different if, I don't know, politics aside, if Biden chooses a Hispanic or black running mate?
Yeah.
And do you think it matters if it's male or female?
Oh, 100%.
Correct.
I actually think, even though I'd love to be positive and say it's not going to make a difference, I definitely think it will. Now, the question is, positive or negative, that's not for me to decide, but.
Now, let me ask you, if it's Michelle Obama that runs with him, how does that make you feel?
Oh, that would be easy, landslide.
Yeah, that would be.
There was a coalition. There was even a coalition before even they even had candidates primaries. They wanted Michelle to do it, so I'm pretty sure.
From what I heard is a Democrat from California. They actually named her yesterday, but
her?
No, somebody else in California. I never heard of her before.
But a female.
A female. Yeah, he's going to he's going to bring in a female. He has to. But the bottom line here is, if the Democrats are smart, they would bring in Michelle Obama.
Correct.
Can you even imagine? Never even thought about that.
Everybody's been talking about this.
Wow.
I mean, I don't need to say, we all know what the swing states are up for, and we all know what they need to do to win the election.
You know what? Forget about swing. There is no more swing
states. Yeah.
What's going to win is who comes out to vote. If you get a low amount of vote, Trump is going to win it. I'm telling you straight up, because he's going to have his supporters out there in a vengeance. Facts. Democrats want to win this, you got to vote. And if you don't vote, you're going to get what you got. Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to. But Michelle Obama should run. I don't think she will, because she doesn't want to be bigger than her husband's legacy. It's a tough call. But like Hillary didn't learn her lesson, and she went in there and ran, never won. Never won because everybody loved Bill Clinton. I don't know why, but everybody loved Bill Clinton. And
It's kind of hard to live. It's kind of hard to be angry at a musician. Let's just start with that.
With a musician.
To be angry at a musician.
Valerie says she has the videos queued up. Whenever you're ready. Let's play. All right, Valerie, whenever you're ready.
Also live in Fort Lauderdale, and she was there as tensions escalated earlier today, resulting in police deploying tear gas.
Yeah, and Kim, you got caught up in that tear gas as well, correct?
Oh, yeah, and it was rough. I got separated from Akeem, my photographer. He had to get milk doused on his eyes just to get some of that burning sensation down. As soon as I tried to turn the block, you could feel the fire in your eyes and just the fire in your throat from that tear gas, even from a block away. So it was a very scary situation. But right now we are outside of the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, where a press conference just wrapped up about 15 minutes ago, and Mayor Trantalis really had some harsh words. You can just tell that he was disappointed in the way that things turned out earlier. He called the unrest and the violence that we saw earlier a shame. It sounds like we're in the video of some of that unrest that we heard earlier. Now, when we were out there, we saw rocks and water bottles being thrown at police. Again, we're showing some of that video now. Now, things started off peaceful. That's just the thing about this. From 3 to 6, folks were on message. And then all of a sudden you saw items like rocks, water bottles. We saw some people setting off firecrackers, fireworks, and then we saw the tear gas deployed on protesters. And as Jamie mentioned, right now we are in a curfew. Fort Lauderdale is under a curfew from
there, and my parents are very, I'm sorry, is that my mic? My parents are concerned that she's there. They want her to leave. They want her to go someplace else. But here's the thing. For 2 months of a pandemic, she lived with us. She finally went back home to her own apartment, and now there's this happening in front of her apartment building. What do you do? She says, I finally feel comfortable and I'm independent back at home, and I want to be home. I don't want to go to grandma's house. I don't want to come home. So she's saying, but she went out yesterday. She said she went to Trader Joe's. It was her first outing in 3 months.
Trader Joe's is open? I heard they were closing.
The one in Fort Lauderdale was open. I don't know. She said it was amazing. She went and got gas. Fine. She said Fort Lauderdale is fine. Maybe not here in front of the police department, which is a small piece of Fort Lauderdale. She said, but the rest of Fort Lauderdale is fine. So what they're doing here in the media and showing you that Fort Lauderdale is crazy, and Miami and Boca, it's a small, tiny piece of the community. And if anyone would be fearful, it would be my daughter, you know, Chelsea. And she feels comfortable at home, which means it is being contained peacefully, however, whatever it is, right there. And she lives only a couple blocks away.
Well, last night I heard that the escalations had toned down. A lot of it also had to do with the brother of the gentleman that was murdered. And I'm going to call it what I see. I'm going to call it a murder. It is, to me, that's what it was. But his brother got out there, and for the first 2 minutes, he was yelling at the top of his lungs because he was upset. And then he says, okay, now it's out of my system. Not forgotten, but out of my system. And he says, what are you people doing? I mean, I'll find the tape and I'll bring it in. What are you doing? What you're doing right now is not going to bring my brother back. It's going to make it worse. Yeah. That's what he was saying. And he's saying, let's learn from this thing. Now, there have been many black men murdered tremendously in the past. And they started to run tapes of Rodney King. Now, you guys, I think, were too young for Rodney King.
I wasn't too young for the jokes, though.
Well, the Rodney King incident was horrible, what happened in California. They had to bring the National Guard in there. I think they had to bring in the Army. It's one of the 2 times that the Army came in, because that was just almost as blatant as this thing that we saw. But Rodney didn't die. But the bottom line is, in those days, that's when cameras were starting to catch everything. So I'm going to say again, ladies and gentlemen, there are cameras everywhere, man.
But I have to say, like, I seen that reporter and I seen that photographer when we were, or like, I can't say I was a part. I didn't have a sign, so I can't say I was really a part of it. I was just here to document it. But they didn't film basically nothing that was peaceful. They were surveying the whole situation, and like, I was near them. They was mostly recording the situation, but like right when I would say like it was time for me to leave, when this, basically tensions got high, that's when they started filming. That's when they started, yeah, I gotta go on live right now because such and such. The police brought their riot gear out. Police didn't even have riot gear out majority of the day.
That's why I love that you guys have a camera. You have an eye.
Yeah.
You can edit. You can share truly what you're seeing.
Cause I'm
not
like,
what the media is showing.
Yeah,
but
because I was
the other
like,
side.
when did these riot gears, when did these police have shields? And I'm like, I just saw this police officer. When did they change? How did you? So don't listen. I'm not saying don't listen to the media, but adhere to what you see in the media.
But you were there.
Yeah, correct.
He didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
You gotta listen to him. He was there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I love their perspective of what they're bringing forward.
How long are you there for?
I was there from 4 to the end. I'll say 6:30. That's when they dispersed.
2 hours.
Yeah.
You definitely got to take, I mean, of course, a lot of the media today is like blowing things out of proportion. Like, for example, what we just saw in Fort Lauderdale, where it's like, oh my God, this is such a bad city, when really that was like one tiny section of it. So you really got to.
It was a block.
Yeah, it was block, exactly.
Granted, it's on fire now, but
and
it's
it was
block.
properly contained, just like how you said.
What about the latest and greatest at, what is the mall where you live?
Town Center?
Town Center Mall. An alert goes out that they're going to riot in Town Center Mall. So on the news, because there was nothing happening,
Correct.
It was quiet.
It's quiet.
They started saying, we're going to keep an eye on this situation because there's a riot about to happen in Town Center Mall. Never happened.
No.
Never happened.
And then when they marched to go to the highway, the troopers stopped them. That became, oh, this is part of this threat. And there's another threat in West Palm Beach, so every SWAT gear ran up there as well. You know, I understand the media. You can't sell $30,000 commercials if ain't nobody watching. But everybody's watching this now. You know, report the real news.
Well, that's why I want you
Well,
guys
that's the
to
thing.
report.
Well, that's the thing. The real news is some guy got an offender better outside the block today, and nothing else. You're gonna sell now. Here's some $3,000 commercials for you to watch.
Also, one of the issues is that people say all the time, "Oh, we're gonna riot this place, or we're gonna go this place." Sometimes people do that, honestly, and I don't know why, but some people do that as like a distraction so they can go somewhere else.
And like, if you do have the correct mindset, like majority of us, so I would say like if we were out there around the same age, I'm pretty sure all of us would disperse after the whole articulating movement.
Speak for yourself.
I wouldn't think.
Agreed.
I wouldn't think we would start throwing rocks and water bottles. They were doing that, but like I felt like that's the only thing they captured. They didn't capture when people were actually singing or people were actually making songs, because it was a hot day. People needed more route. They didn't see. They didn't see that. But I mean, I felt like they weren't broadcasting that because their cameras were down. Because I seen that reporter. I'm like, man, no.
So my mic is like being stupid every time I try to use it. So I think that's what's important about social media. And honestly, I've been like looking at Twitter and talking to my friends. Like, that's where people are reporting what's actually happening in the moment. I've seen that allegedly police have been like, "Oh, we're gonna sit and kneel with you while the press takes pictures," and then they got tear gassed less than an hour later after that.
But it depends. Let's not take it out of focus. The police actually took a knee with them when there was nothing going on and everything was calm, because this happened in New York City as well.
But taking a knee for the photographer is one thing. Eating hot dogs with them because it's hot and it's lunchtime is another.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about taking a knee, how important taking a knee is. The President of the United States would never take a knee.
Yeah, he wouldn't. The guy wouldn't jog for 5 minutes.
Well, hold on a second. There's a reason why the President would never take a knee. The President would take a knee if the country is being attacked, but you got to look at what it is. For a cop to take a knee with the protesters is a huge thing. What happens is, and I'm going to ask you, we're going to keep going. I'm going to ask you, if you get things thrown at you, are you going to protect yourself? Are you going to put on your riot gear? Are you going to walk to stop them from throwing things at you?
Absolutely, you got to protect yourselves at all costs, no matter what it is.
So then my problem here is, if it stay peaceful, where'd the rocks come from?
Oh, I'm not saying that there's no one that is. I'm completely, yes. There are some people that are in there that are not being peaceful. For the majority, it is.
Yeah.
It necessarily shouldn't be, okay, let's go gas everybody now. I mean, in my opinion, you guys.
Yeah,
it's that same thing with like, there's a few bad apples within the like police force. Then there's also some bad people that are protesting. The 99% of the people that are protesting are completely peaceful, that are doing it out of respect and out of care and out of wanting to make a difference. And then, those one or two people, I mean, obviously not one or two, but that same thing that we were talking about with low energy before, how low energy can spread so much faster than positive.
Isn't that kind of like the joke on that one episode of the Boondocks, that if you want to start a fight, just throw a chair? It's not even. It's not. Well, I guess no one in his age demographic has seen the Boondocks, but to explain the joke is pretty much tensions are always going to be high.
Yeah.
If you're the one kind of person who's either that bored or just came there specifically because you know that this tension would be high, doesn't really take much to set it off. You just need to do something as innocuous as, say, throw a plastic ball at that one police officer who's playing Bejeweled on his cell phone.
Sure. Yeah, and then monkey see, monkey do, and then someone throws a rock.
More to come with this conversation. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's an important conversation. We love hearing your perspectives. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you all bring forward the next couple days. And tomorrow we've got more coming up.
It's interesting when she says more coming up. That means you don't know what's coming up. You never know what's going to happen.
You
at the
never
Brooklyn
know what's
Cafe.
going to happen at the Brooklyn Cafe show.
Who
So again,
knows?
a special thank you to Jimmy C's Italian Deli and Market, located right in East Boca Raton. Lunch was absolutely spectacular. There's still a piece of meatball left. The subs were amazing. The food went like in a blink of an eye. I think before the intro was over, the food is gone.
Correct.
So thank you again to Jimmy C's. Give them a call. Take out, eat in. Their hours are a little bit less now. They're open till 5, Monday through Friday, 3 o'clock on Saturdays. Yes, you can take it to the drive-in.
That's the drive-in stop up to Lake Worth.
Take it wherever you want to take it, but just say the Brooklyn Cafe show sent you. I can't wait to go meet your friend Sal. And keep going.
Sal, yeah.
Have a great day, everyone. Be kind to each other. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Drive time, pajama time at the Brooklyn Cafe show.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well,